Hello everyone, this is Casey Chumley and I am here to give a book review about a book that I have for my Communication 613 Constructing Messages and Audiences class. And I will be reviewing a book called Blur, How to Know What's True in the Age of Information Overload by Bill Kovach and Tom Rosenstiel. Blur is a nonfiction book written by Bill Kovach and Tom Rosenstiel that creates commentary on the media and journalism in an age where anyone can write anything. The main purpose of this book is to get people to think and to take any sort of information that they find in the media with a grain of salt, and how to do so in searching for the truth and looking for answers. The book has a very unique tone. For a nonfiction textbook, a lot of the tones are monotonous and mechanical, and this one tends to go for more of a personal story approach in the third person. It often will take stories that other people have written and will put them into the context of the book, depending on which chapter it is and what lesson it applies to. Each chapter identifies a facet of what it means to identify the truth in an age where media and misinformation is so scattered freely. The titles of the chapters are very no-nonsense, such as "We Have Been Here Before" and "How to Find What Really Matters." It doesn't waste time in going over unnecessary details. However, I find that the sources are somewhat varied throughout the book. Many of the applications are common sense, even though we would find it necessary and beneficial to find that going over them would be a good reminder, especially in an age where anything can be taken at face value. The chapter starts slow, going over different sorts of communication, such as the written word, leading all the way up to information in the social media age. Then from there, it goes on to how that information can be misinterpreted by the public and different sort of news stations for their own agenda in misleading the public. As I have stated before, though, the sources are rather vague. Often, rather than looking to different scientific journals over communications and other authorities on the subject, they will often place that authority on themselves. They will look through different quotes from the media and just exemplify how that will be, somewhat beneficial to the topic that they are going on, using them as an example. Many of the maneuvers are their own. Things such as the journals of affirmation and things like that they have listed are just their own invention, just their own way of, taking what they find to be true and separating that from the lies. The book, which is another con, is somewhat dated. It came out in 2011, which, although is recent times, it does not necessarily apply to the sort of blossoming technology and misinformation scattered today. However, being that most of the interpretation methods are common sense, it can be enacted in any time period. All that it takes is just, looking through things that they call like completeness, searching for evidence, and things of that nature. Another thing that I find to be quite beneficial, though, in contrast to the cons, is, like I said before, they do not mince words. They go about their jargon very straightforward and completely blunt. While many may stigmatize this sort of writing as unprofessional, it does what the entire book claims to do, which is communicate to the average person. I find that the target audience for this book is just the average person who is exposed to the steady flow of misinformation in the media like everyone else is. That is why the jargon is so completely simplified. It isn't for college professors, it is for the average Joe. Throughout the baby steps taken through each chapter, leading through different methods of common sense deduction, eventually the average person will be able to look at everything with just a bit of hesitance and reluctance and understand what it means to take the truth from the lies, so to speak, in this age of steady misinformation. As a resource, I find that it was very easy to read. However, I do find it myself as a college student at the master's level a little hesitant to use it because it does lack the sources of a sort of, academic journals that many people need in order to use things as a credible source. For the average person, though, I feel like it could be very beneficial because it goes over something that we all need in our everyday lives, which is educating ourselves against misinformation and using it for better purposes. Overall, I would say that I would give this book a good 8 out of 10 because it was just an easy read. It was an entertaining read, which is very opposed to many of the textbooks that I've been prescribed over the years. So I find this book to be very beneficial and actually fun to read, and I would love to see more books like this in the future over such a very necessary topic.